Hey everybody, I thought we'd take a look at the quote unquote demo trial that Capcom streamed about 5 months ago. People have covered this a lot. You're not going to see anything new here. If you do, I'm going to be shocked. But this is mostly more for people who are new to the series or don't know that they put out multiple trial versions. So there's the one that we just saw. I uploaded a video about that earlier today. That's the one that we just saw today at like 5 a.m. or something like that. That demo was much shorter than all of the others. It was mostly just like a physics showcase. So they were cutting bridges, they were pushing boulders down the hill and crushing enemies. It was very brief. We got to see a little combat. The thing I think that we only saw that was new mostly was some enemy placement that we haven't seen before, and then the boulders, which I don't think we've seen in any other video or showcase yet. So I could be wrong about that, but here we go. So if I had to bet, I'm gonna bet that if we do get a demo, which I'm fairly certain that we will, because Capcom always puts out demos lately, I would probably bet that it's this version. Do I know that for sure? No, I don't. Okay, this is the screen that I wanted to look at. A lot of this stuff has been translated. Again, you're not seeing much new stuff here, if anything, but I wanted to take another look just to see. All right. Okay. So I don't think if we do get a demo, I don't think we're going to get the character creator. I don't think the Capcom necessarily wants us to have that until the final version. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. Maybe they'll give us this and the character creator, and then we can kind of just see what the character creator looks like. Maybe we could even save our character and then just play this demo. Do I know that for sure? No, I don't know shit. I'm just speculating. So the important thing to remember here is the archer trial is level 5, the fighter is 15, and the thief is 10. Okay, this is interesting. So above the archer's head, it says early experience in the northern region. Above the fighter lion, it says defeat monsters in the eastern part of the castle capital. And it's not telling me what is above the thief. I'll see if I can redo it here in a second. So the text below the lion fighter, all that text says, the protagonist who lost his memory and woke up as a slave barely escapes from the excavation workshop of the ruins and welcomes the mysterious existence pawn as a squire. So maybe that's... yeah, I don't know who that is. If you go to the village where the dragon attacked, you will remember something. Get information from a camp soldier and aim for Merv, the places where it started. Okay. So the translation's not going to be great, but it is what it is. Last time I used Google Translate. This time I'm just using an app called Translate. If I can... okay, it's doing it that time. So above the thief, it says the subjugation of the western part of the city. So some of the stuff I actually didn't really know, I don't think. So let's skip ahead here. We've already seen this, so we don't need to translate that. But if you want to know what it says, basically, I can't remember what L2 is. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Oh, I think L2 was your secondary skill, if I'm not mistaken, and then your L1 was your primary skills. So depending on which button you press, accompanied by one of these buttons over here, those are the skills that you're utilizing, your weapon specific skills. This is your health recovery, this is your stamina recovery, this is your lantern, and this is your item screen. And then you have your pawn commands here. You've got your movement, your run, your camera reset and camera control, pause, R2, which is your grab, and I forget what R1, maybe it was L1 and R1 were your skills. Yeah, job specific action. Why does it translate that and it doesn't translate L2? Yeah, I don't know what L2 is. I forgot what L2 is. Sue me. So this is the Archer demo part. Obviously. Let me back up just a second there, because I'm not going to translate everything that they say, but if it's like long, I want to see what it says. More information, the better. Merv, a village attacked by a dragon. Okay, so the village is named Merv. That's cool. It's probably like Merve or something like that, but we're just call it Merv. If you go there, you'll remember something. Okay, so that's the same thing we saw earlier. So is he saying that? Yeah, he's saying that. That pawn is telling him that. Again, a lot of people are saying, like, I don't like the HUD, I don't like the subtitles, all that, right? You can turn all this stuff off. You don't have to look at any of this stuff in the original game, and we've seen that in the other videos, as well. There's just walking around, and then there's nothing on the screen. So I'm thinking we're at the encampment. That's what we've talked about that in other videos here. So you've got your rift. Was it the rift stone? No, yeah. You've got your bed there, so it looks like this is your inn. The character is right here. I don't know what that is to the left. Maybe that's supplies or something. There's a table right there, or at least that looks like a table, so then maybe that's like a crafting thing. And it looks like these are all just buildings. I tend to gloss over things because there's so much information you can miss whenever you do these kind of videos. All right. I'm leading the way, but you're going there, right? Once the guide is interrupted, it will be interrupted. Don't make me wait too long. Okay, so it looks like they're saying that the character will guide you. It could be an NPC, it could be a pawn, probably more likely an NPC. And then it probably depends on the quest, but hopefully they're not on timers or anything like that. I doubt it. Ripstone, okay. So if you haven't seen already, the character can access the Riftstone, which goes into the pawn network, which is what we're all connected to if we're playing online. The pawns have detailed information that you can read through that tells you what skills they have, what vocation they are, what quests they've done, which I haven't really seen a lot about that. So I'm thinking this is the new pawn I can't remember the guy's name. Like the first pawn that you would get when you start playing the actual game in the original. Can't remember his name. Everybody would like usually just immediately get rid of him. So it looks like this guy is telling you about the quest. That guy looks like a knight.
助けに行かなくてはいけませんね。
でこの時ねタッチパッド長押しするとそうですはい今ね
So they're going to the castle, it looks like. Now we've got a little goblin action going on here. There is a video that I was looking at. There's several, actually. Somebody posted footage of unarmed combat. So it was a thief that took their weapons off, and they were doing, like, jump kicks, and they were doing flying uppercuts, and punching and kicking, and so there is melee combat. There was that kind of in the original game, and I believe there was an item associated with increasing the power of your unarmed strikes. It's not technically a vocation, or it wasn't in the first game. It was more kind of like a, I don't want to say an Easter egg, but it wasn't something that was widely known or used. So we got some harpies coming up here, putting the NPC to sleep. So it looks very similar to the first game. If you see that white bar there, that was what the NPCs had above their head, because you could see the pawns here are green, or you know, they're a different color. But the idea is you don't want the NPC that you're either escorting or following to die, because if you do, you'll fail the quest. Which is why I always kept a mage. And if I ever got hit, which I usually got in the beginning of the game or during an escort quest, I would always stay by the NPC, because your mage could heal you and the NPC at the same time. Your pawn would, your mage pawn would heal the NPC as far as I remember, but I kind of just would kill two birds with one stone. Just making sure, yeah, we're good. Okay. So we're not going to spend a ton of time. We already read that in the previous video. If I read it in the previous video, I will just direct you guys back to that, because that's just talking about pawn resuscitation. What is that? Back up a second there. Oh, I thought that was like a cave or something. So, resuscitating or reviving your pawns in the second game is not instantaneous like it was in the first game. You have to dedicate a couple of seconds to it, so it leaves you open for attacks, which is... I like how you have to dedicate your time to things more in this game. So if we back up there, it's not really a big deal. Go forward a little bit here. All right. So you get 50 experience, and then you have 20 job points. I'm assuming that in the English version of the game, that might be VP, which would be vocation points. So the JP or the VP are points dedicated to attaining new skills, and I'm referencing the first game here. They're points that you're accumulating for the purposes of fleshing out your vocation or your job or your class, whatever you want to call it. So you have a point system that's going two different directions. What is the XP? I honestly I don't know. I I'm not sure what the XP goes towards. Because as far as I understand it, the job points or the vocation points, that's what's making the thing pop up on the screen that says it puts another like little fills up another red circle or whatever. That's the job points going up, but I can't remember if anybody ever mentioned what XP goes
さっきの
towards.
助けたアカード君が
はい
ちょっと先の方にいると思うんですよね。
Maybe it's. Oh wait, maybe it's okay. I think there's two screens because we've seen it might show up at one point, but there's two screens that
いる
will pop up. There'll be one that says your health is increased, your magic is increased, your strength or whatever, right? And that's vocation specific. So if
そうで
you
すね。
if your XP goes up, you might see that screen that's like, hey, you got more health now, or hey, you have more whatever.
オートエイムで
So that's the thing that they
おこれで全部やっつけたと
これで全部行きました。
いけました。
that's
はい
a little bit different than the first game
同じこと言ってる
because you would level up your character. Then your level would rise, but that was tied to the XP, or maybe it was called something else.
はい。
The vocation points
そうですね。できれば。
would build up, and then you would go to the vocation guy or whatever, the innkeeper,
飛ばしてしもうた。
and then he would say, "Hey, do you want to buy these active skills or these passive skills?
はい、これほんまは
Things like
あの
your stamina doesn't drain as quickly, or your stamina doesn't drain as quickly when you're grabbing onto a giant monster and crawling on it and stuff like that, or you don't take as much physical damage. But you only had so many. Ooh, you only had so many to that you could equip. I want to read that. I want to read what that says. This video is probably going to be longer than the other one just because there's so much more going on. What does it say? Oh, okay, nothing. Change of equipment and giveaway. Okay. I didn't think it was going to say anything, but I was just looking at this right here. So it looks like they left the encampment. So maybe this is the player character. I thought that it might be in a previous video. And the reason I didn't think that it was is because like this is the most elaborate player character arrow I've ever seen in a game before. And I was just thinking surely they wouldn't make that so fancy, but I don't know what I'm talking about clearly. And I don't know why you're watching this video either. There's better videos that you could be watching. So it looks like the objectives and all that are over here. A lot of people are complaining, not a lot of people, but I see people complaining about the UI and the how everything's laid out. And you got to understand,
もらって
we've been playing the original game for like 12 years.
下の滅びの
What is this? So anything that's just a little bit better or a lot better is you know, means the world to us. All right. So starting over here on the left, it says under order, which is right here, and then end. This looks like open the map, the suffering of new recruits. I'm assuming that's what this is. And then below that, it says from village of destruction. Update order. Decresting order? What? Oh, okay, that's interesting. So this says heading to Merv. I'm heading to Merv, a village that was attacked by dragons. It says dragons, but it probably means dragon. Who knows?
の村よりこれ四角ボタンで優先の変えれるんで、はいはい、それで
これで戻
戻って
ったよろしい
もろたらポーンが、はい
なるほど
はい。
And I'm kind of scrubbing through this because I don't want to miss anything. So it looks like they're coming up to
これ
the
で
castle. Okay, yeah.
お、なんか
So there's spoilers here. If you played the first game, it's probably not that much of a spoiler, but just telling you right now.
メル メルベ
Melve is what he says. So in this translation, it says Melve, M-E-L-V-E. Previously, it was saying M-E-R-V-E. So that's why I tell you guys, don't trust this translation. This is an AI translator, but we're using a different translator now, just because I was curious to see what would be different. And it looks like there is some subtle differences. Below that, it says everyone who was burned by the dragon. So it looks like this is like the battle that wiped out a bunch of soldiers,
そうね、ドラゴン
which you were a part of.
読めへん
竜に焼かれた鳥で
This actually looks very similar to what we saw in the previous stream earlier today. It's probably not the same place, but
ここがメルベですね。ドラゴンに襲撃された爪痕が残っています。
じゃあこのままメルベの中
it just occurred to me that I don't think that I've watched
きますか
世に各社が現れる時、必ず
all of this all the way through.
いや
それは歴史的に裏付けられた事実なんです。
すごく石が焦げてる
うーん
あーなんかもうボロボロだ
あ、もう会話送ってください会話
なんか話しかけられてますけどね、
はい
あはいすいません
読んでる
ちょっと頭に今直接語りかけてきたんで
Let's back up here for a second.
はいすいません
読んでる
頭
Is that a Bloodborne reference? You decide.
に今直接語りかけてきたんでメインさんすいません
到着しました。
あそうなの
さて、どこに向かえばよいでしょうか。
あんたが到着した言うたんやから
もうちょっと前行ってもらっていいですかね
So from the beginning of the first
井戸
game,
の辺まであ
you would
はいはいはい
you would probably get to level 5 pretty quickly. So this, for all intents and purposes, is probably the beginning of the game.
僕だけか頭痛いの
Instead of it happening immediately, it looks like you're slowly recovering your memory. Find out you're the Arisen, and then
記憶を失ってる人にこう忘れるなよって問いかけてる感じですねはい
うん
they're actually. I didn't realize how much they showed in the stream.
ドラゴンですよドラゴン
So this is your flashback to
心臓を取られた時の記憶です。
the dragon taking your heart.
いやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいや 熱い熱いよ。おお怖っ。仲間が燃えている。いや戦います？
戦ってください。
Doesn't seem like he has as much health as he
よっ
does
しゃ。
in the previous game.
四角から来た。四角から来ました。ちょっと足。えい。
うわー、
もうガンガン攻撃してください。ガンガン。ああすごい。そうですそうです。
Oh, doing a little damage there. Doing-
この手で心臓をほら。あ、
おおすごい。
おおすごい。あ、この人が気をそらしてくれたわけですね。
この女の人がね、ヒロインの一人ウルリーケですね。
素敵。
キーアートのこっちにいてる人ですね。
So a lot of the stuff we've already seen. Whoops, turn the sound off. What is the
ー、これね。
Let's see what he says right here. Whoa. My translator keeps freaking out. Sorry, guys. There we go. It says, now you are a master.
写真撮れるんで。
いやなんかそういう気分じゃないですよちょっと。写真撮れるんですね。
写真撮れるんですよこの。
That's a person. Do what you need to do.
でね。なるほど。
いや、10年前を思い出しますね。
衝撃でしたよね当時も
衝撃
ね
で。した。
あ
Okay, so it looks like this is probably the end.
私有の人もね、
あ。はい。
残り30分になったら右上に出るんで、
へえ。
Yeah, we've already seen all this. Okay. So that is the Archer demo. Okay, let's translate this. Oh, darn it. Okay. So, subjugation of the eastern part of the city. Below that, it says, right here, it says, I'm the one who will be the king. The main character who regained his memory is taken by the border guard and arrives at the castle city of Vernworth with his squire Pawn. In response to the request from the collaborator Show Bencho Burned, Bernd, who greeted me heading to the monsters around the castle.
はい、まあなんかそうですね。はい。今度ファイターで出るんですけど、
うん。
で掴んでる間スタミナ
So
減るん
if
です
I'm
よ。
not mistaken, this one is
だからずっと
this
掴
is,
んで
seems
ら
like
れ
the
ないんですよ。
one that people have
でも
probably I don't know. It seems like this one is the one that people
説明しながらやるんで。
はい
put out
後ろ向いて
on
もらって
YouTube the
後ろ
most.
向きました。十
そう
字
ですねそっち行って。
Or at the very least, this is just the one I've seen a lot of. So the Griffin's attacking. This is like just a Griffin fight.
ちょっとそこ行ってみて。
ジョージ行くぞ。ジョージあっちだ。これ何？畑？
So this one, I believe is okay. So this is the one. I want to skip a little bit. So if I'm not mistaken, they fail the objective that that they asked them to do, which is get on the back of the Griffin. So he's like, you didn't do the thing we wanted you to do. So he goes back. And the reason I'm skipping through this is because I want to take a look at this part.
休憩。
いいですよ。
ボンウェイト。
すごい。
おお。
ボンウェイトだ。
あ、
いいですよ。
お、なんか
So the
さっきより
Griffin
すごい乗ってる感じある。
乗ってる感じがします。
Is attracted to the ox and will eat them. So if those are nearby, there's a chance that a Griffin could
よしよしよし。
fly by. At least in the first game.
いった。いった。
よしよ。
よかった。
気持ちいい。
So he is using stamina.
これ、が落ちた。
なんで降りる？なんで降りた？
いや、グリフィンはグリフィンの気持ちで動いてるんですよ。落ちた。
落とされた。
行きかけたのに。
大丈夫で
あ、
す。
すごい。
もっぺん行けます？
Stamina was recovering pretty quickly.
グリフィンも気まぐれなんですね。
グリフィンも下に獲物を見つけたら取りに行くんですよ。
我々が思ってるようにはいかないわけですね。なんて素晴らしいゲームなんですか。
あんなにリハーサルでうまいこと言ったのに。
いやでもすごかった。
いけますよ、まだいけますよ。
降りた。ちょっと。
ちょっと。
飛んでる？あ、飛んでる。
あ
いや、誰か連れて行った。
誰かついていってる。
ポン、それは。
違う。
ポン。
Maybe this was not the... I swore he went to the Griffin nest.
どこ行った？
Maybe that was another
あ、
video.
なんか影が。
My bad.
どこ？なんで？なんで？
いや、それはまあ落ちたからですよ。
落ちた。
落ちたね。
そうか。これお城。
お城。
どうやって入りまんの？
はい。
で、じゃあグリフィンチャレンジは少しの時間ですが
いけ、るかな。
降りる思えへんかった。
本が言ってましたもんね。
お、紹介したい人がいるそうです。
左行ってもらいましょうかね。左行って。
左？
Oh,
もうちょっと左。あ、そうですね。
all right. So this is the other thing I wanted to look at. Looks like the blacksmith maybe is right there. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it looks like armor. So that's the armor shop, possibly the weapons shop. Potions, it looks like, or the apothecary. The riftstone. Another apothecary. Maybe that is a... What is it? The fairy stone, or the... Port crystal. Maybe that's a porting point. And I'm not, that looks like the thief symbol, so maybe the thief master is right there. Looks like a bed, so there's the inn right there, and then the bar. Interesting. It's the little details.
そっちの左の方の。
こっち？
Anyway, the reason I was trying to scrub through the Griffin thing was because there was another video where
ずっと行って。
he gets on the Griffin, or somebody gets on the Griffin, and it takes him back to his
結構
cave or nest or whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a fairy stone,
なんかタクシーみたいな気持ちになる。
among other things, in the nest.
ここへ左ですか？
So I think the Griffins are attracted to shiny things also, but I don't remember. So there's, by going to the monster nests, there's a chance for
次の信号左。
random treasure to spawn, maybe, who knows.
この人。
もうちょっと左です。もうちょっと左。
違う、まだですね。
あそこのお
A
店。
lot of people seem to be upset about fast travel and it's going to be harder and all that. I don't think that's going to be the case. Maybe at the beginning, sure. What is that? Sorry, I keep getting distracted. It's like a globe, or I don't know what that is.
この人。
ね、もうちょっと左です。もうちょっと左。
違う、まだですね。
あそこのお店。
Oh, that's the fortune teller. That's a crystal ball, I think. So the fortune teller supposedly gives you insight into stuff you want to know more about. So it could help you like with the quest, or it could help you, and I'm just speculating here. It could help you with quests. It could help you kind of give you a sense of what's coming. I think it depends on what you ask the thing, but there's this grave site or coffin over here. That's what that looks like. It kind of actually looks like a port crystal now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know.
ちょっと怪しそうなお店あると思うんで、はい、
あ、着いたのかな？
これ
この
はい
お姉さん、こんにちは。
Well,
今
maybe we
今一
can
番
ベルムントは昔
僕
maybe we can see what she says. I didn't know that he talked to her. I'm learning all kinds of things. What about you guys? All right, at the bottom it says, I heard that Vermont used to be the country of beasts. Really? Greetings, conversation with a long press.
僕がお気に入りのお姉さんを紹介します。
何を言うてますの？
興味深い話です。
Okay, what is she saying now? That's an interesting story.
何の
ただ
回ですか？
今の住民は
シルベアエンド
A lost person who wants to get guidance. If you want, let's give you an indicator.
ボス迷い人お望みならば
お、
指標を授けましょう
お、
磯野さん、
はい、
この方が
この方悪くないでしょ。
いや素敵やけどあ、これを紹介したかった
この人ちょっと紹介したかったです。この人は
じゃあそれ
うん。
まあ一応ゲームにね
お示しください
Please show me the price to offer.
詰まったりしたら
対価を
占い
Looks like her name is
してくれて
Ursula.
ちょっとだけヒントくれたりする
へえ
お。姉さん。
So it looks like pay the appraisal fee 50 gold, speak, or stop. I find it interesting that it says stop and then it says PP after that. I'm a big Dragons, I'm a big Dragon's Dogma fan, obviously, but I'm also a big Dead Rising fan, so anytime I see PP, I get excited, which sounds really weird. I know, but that was like your experience points in Dead Rising. It was called PP.
なんでぜひ仲良くしていただければ。
同票を記した書を渡し
Okay. I'll write a signpost and give you a book. There will be your way to go there. Okay.
ておきます
素敵な声で
そ
すね
こにあなたの進むべき道があるでしょ
声とポーズが
どうやろういう
どうやろうじゃないんですよいや確かに
It's good to head to the Trevo mine, the guided place.
僕のプレイどうやろうですけど
時間になりました。
導かえ
もうここで時間いっぱいしたそうですよ。はい。じゃあ画面の方を切り替えて戻って。
はい
お姉さん終わりか。
So it looks like they're going to switch to the last one. Got some merch. Oh, they're not going to do the... I thought they did the thief. Huh, maybe that was another video. I'll keep digging and see if I can find anything else that might be worth translating, but I thought it would be good to take a look at some of that. A lot of that stuff's already been done, but yeah. Thanks guys for watching. There might be one more of these. covering old stuff, but if anything new pops up, we'll certainly take a look at it. I'll try to make the videos not so long, but I think it's interesting to kind of go back and just see what we missed. So we're getting closer all the time. It's hard to be patient, I know, but it'll be here soon. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend.